Good morning. So, uh, today I wanted to show you my decks for fall, Samhain, Halloween. So, there's a lot of decks to get through, and I'm not going to show you every card in every deck because we'll be here forever. I'm just going to show you a few cards from each deck. So, let's get started. By the way, some of you're going to say, "Oh, I've seen this before," and a couple of times you might say, "Oh, I never saw this deck," or "I haven't seen it in a long time." And other decks you're going to say, "Why is she even including this?" So I'll tell you if it seems odd. So let's get started. First deck is something you've probably all seen: the Fallen Angel Oracle cards. Now, I have to say that at first I was kind of not all that enthused about this deck because it said the word angel, and I'm a recovering Catholic, and I just, anytime Christianity is involved, even in hoodoo, I kind of raise an eyebrow at it, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about it anymore, but that's why I didn't want this deck at first. But when somebody said they're all pictures of cemeteries and that, tombstones and cemeteries, that got me interested. So here we are with this. It comes with a book, and it explains about this particular angel. Has a little thumbnail color picture that coincides with it. It's a great deck. So this actually, you could use this really any time of year. Actually, any of these cards. Of course, there's no such thing as a tarot police. So the next one is the Necronomicon, and it's by Donald Tyson. It has a pretty extensive book that goes with it. I also have the book by Donald Tyson, and this book is fiction, and it kind of goes hand in hand with this deck. It's interesting that this is based on Lovecraft's stories, and I have been looking in the stores for books on Lovecraft, and they didn't have them. But now that it's getting to be Halloween, they have them. So, but anyway, I'm going to have to go back and forth. By the way, this book was fairly interesting and explains how he put this deck together. And some of the meanings of these cards. And someone told me that using this book, The Necronomicon by Donald Tyson, and his deck, they said that they had a really good time going through the decks and the cards. You know what? I am really doing this backwards. we go. That's a little better. So we've got a little bit of glare. Ah, this is much better. Okay, so that's the Necronomicon by Donald Tyson. Next up is my beloved Bohemian Gothic. I just ordered the latest version of this, and I should be getting it. They should be shipping it out soon. I am totally in love with this deck. I'm hoping that the new deck is a little bit lighter in not in color and density. In some spaces, like this card is very, very dark. I hope they lighten it a little bit. This is by Baba Studios. And it took me, when I first found this deck, it was out of print. And I literally followed Baba Studio closely for years. And then they came out and said they were reprinting it, and I couldn't have been happier. Yeah, it's a great deck. It does come with a book. The book is separate. I think one of these, I think this might still be available to buy. The next one is the Dark Grimoire. Out of all my decks, I think this is the darkest one I have as far as being emotionally dark, not spiritually. I don't know how you want to say it. I haven't been able to get my hands on Ludi Lesko, though. I want that one too. This one can be very disturbing sometimes. Look at this guy. Look how big he is compared to the people. I actually love this card. This is the Strength card. And man, to face something like this, you'd have to be strong. So I don't want to spend too much time on any deck. I'll be here forever. Who made this? I think it's US Games. Oh, Lo Scarabeo. But I don't know who published it. Next up we have Ghost. This is another Lo Scarabeo deck. I love it when they superimpose like a ghost on an image like that. Look at that one. I'm going to try and stop making noise putting these cards down. It's so annoying. So I'm just going to flip through really quick. These are upside down now. Okay. So this one is Ghost by Lo Scarabeo. I gotta make a bag for this. I hate these little shitty boxes. Next one up is, I don't even know what's in here. I forget. Let's have a look. Oh, this is Matter Endures Fortune cards. This deck is really kind of unusual. You have a title, and then you have keywords down here. But it's really different. There are elements in here. Title card. How did that get in here? This is Matter Endures Fortune cards. So, A Murder of Crows. Another one by Lo Scarabeo. He must have a dark personality or something. Some of these cards can be very disturbing also. Glare. I don't usually go for black and white decks. But I have made a couple of exceptions. This is one. And in case you didn't know, see the mask they're wearing with a point? Like this one? I read somewhere that back in the day of the plague, they wore masks like that and filled the point, with herbs that they felt would protect them from getting the plague. I'm not really, this isn't a deck that I would use for doing somebody else's reading, because it would, unless like they're used to tarot or something and they, they're familiar with using dark decks, it's not something I would use. Like I just wouldn't. So this is A Murder of Crows by Lo Scarabeo. I have this one, and here's another one I have to make a bag for. And this isn't particularly Samhain type or even fall type, but it's it's such a weird little deck that I had to include it. Why? Because this is an umbilical cord, and it runs through the whole deck. And which is kind of disgusting when you think about it. But there are a couple of things about this deck that I really, really like. And that is the coloring and the faces. The faces are really weird. And the coloring, I don't know if you can really determine that from this. But this, look at this. This is beautiful. This is the backs. These colorings are absolutely beautiful. They're like, but like I said, it is weird because it has umbilical cords that run through the whole deck. And the faces are, some of them look tortured. And this is Parpolka. I think this is another Scarabeo deck. No, this one isn't. This is that one. Okay, so I'm trying to get about the same size cards. I have no idea what this is. This was a gift, and I have never used it, and I don't even get it. This is by Colette Baron Reed. I think there's a book or a story or something about this deck, but it is an oracle deck. should do it this way. So like I said, I'm not even that familiar with this deck. But now that I'm looking at it, you know how you pull out a deck and mess with it, and now all of a sudden you want to find out more about it? Wow, this deck doesn't want to go even. That's very strange. I did include this deck, even though it's not per se a Halloween or Samhain deck or something. But the reason I included this deck is because it seems to me so melancholy. And it's plastic. And I think it has kind of a dark, kind of, the people really don't seem happy at all. Trying not to make noise with the cards. But because it's plastic, the colors are really wonderful. Here we have our anorexia couple. What's that about? I don't know. And they're large cards. And you know what? I don't even have a title card for this, and I don't remember the name of it. I don't even remember the name of this deck. And it is thick. Look. Wow, this deck is really something. So, come on, get in there. So then, I tried to do most of the darker ones first, and the ones approximately the same size. But I have several that are really like dedicated for Halloween. They're more in sync with Halloween. And of course, the first one I'm going to do is the Halloween Tarot. I saw someone the other day who was going to get rid of this from their deck. And I don't understand why. I really don't. If there's a deck that screams Halloween, it's this one. I'm going to try not to. And I don't have in here the Halloween Oracle. But I do have that deck. I just don't know where it is. I love this deck. It kind of brings out the child in you. It's funny. Brightly colored. I edged it in black and it really looks cool. The suits are different. You have pumpkins, ghosts, imps, and what else? Bats. Let's see if I can turn this around. Maybe most of them this way. I'm sure you've seen this deck before. It's a lot of fun. And this is by US Games. Holy moly, this box is falling apart. Then I have the Zombie Tarot. And it comes with a little booklet. And for some reason, I've never really gotten that much into it. And I can't figure out why. Everybody loves this deck, and I just go, eh. Maybe because I need to work with it more. I don't know. And so it goes. So this is the, oops, I just dropped off the cards. I don't know why. Sometimes cards just don't want to go back in the box the same way they came out. Okay. So that's the Zombie Tarot. Let's see what's in this one, because I don't know. Oh. I keep saying I'm going to treat myself to this. Buy myself another one of these decks, because the new one, from what I understand, is bigger. And I really like that because I love this lady's artwork. And it's all witches. And you know what? I think they do have some pretty good. It's an oracle deck. They have some pretty good titles too. And this is the Earthly Souls and Spirits. That's a really nice card. This is an indie deck. I don't know if it's still available or not. I really don't know. Holy smokes, I better get busy making bags. Next I have the Dark Mansion Tarot. And I have a confession to make. I've never seen the movie. Never. But I fell in love with the artwork. Maybe this year I'll rent it. And so it goes. So this is the Dark Mansion. Sorry about the noise. And I have to kind of like push them on the table, bang them on the table to get them even. This is what, well, I'm going to save this one for last. What's next? Oh. Now this is probably one, I'm not sure that you've, well, maybe you've seen it, but it's not, I don't think it's all that well known. This is the Punch and Judy deck from, what's the name of this guy? Doug? Duck Soup is the name of his little company that he has going. And I don't know if he's still selling decks or not. I know at one point he got a lot of flack from the public about one of his decks. I guess they thought it was racist. So I don't know if he's still, I haven't seen his decks online. I haven't seen his decks being shown online for a long time, so maybe he stopped. I don't know. But if you don't know, I'm old, so you might not know who Punch and Judy is, and they were puppets, and they had a show, a TV show. And the thing about Punch and Judy is that it really was a violent puppet show. It would not fly in today's world, I can tell you that. They were always clubbing each other. Let me see. And this is, their face really looked kind of like that. But I bought it for the novelty. So that's Punch and Judy. I do have Seasons of the Witch, the Samhain. Now, I like this deck, but I have to say, I'm probably not going to buy the rest of them because I don't think they apply well to people who aren't witches. I mean, I'm sure that you can, but it's not um, it's not a deck that I would use for a person coming for a reading that is new to tarot or wanted a specific reading for a specific question. Because what are you going to do with a card that says altar? It says a sacred devotion, a worship skin deep, rising from the ash, the waters you keep. Okay, you could talk about something maybe they're devoted to, but cauldron, you know. So I do like the deck. I use it for me, but like I said, it's not something that I use for other people. So it goes. I think I have their Mabin one, but that's it. I'm not going to probably buy any more from that. Okay. Now here's a deck I haven't seen shown in quite a while, and that is the Wizard's Tarot. Not the one with Barbara Moore. This is, I forget who does this deck, but I have mixed feelings about this deck. Number one is I don't like tarot cards with real people's faces in them. It bugs me. And normally I won't even buy them if they have human faces in them. I just don't. No. But for this deck, I kind of made an exception. And I don't like these borders. Oh my goodness. I thought about trimming them, but then the deck would be really small and tiny. So I decided not to. But some of the, this is really pretty, isn't it? And I like this for the Knight of Wands. Now that face does not look human to me. I don't know if that's a person and they put makeup on him or something. But some of these images are really, really cool. And that's why I like this deck. See this witch face? No, don't care for it. See, now I like this one. If they put makeup on them and stuff and so that they don't look human, man, I could go for that. But if they look like real people that I would see walking down the street, nope. Okay. Isn't that cool? I hope this thing focus now. This camera makes me mad. Sometimes it will focus and other times it won't. It's another good one. And so it goes. Now this is why I don't like to see people's faces. To me, this lady looks like Jennifer Aniston. And now that I've thought that, I can't unsee it. And so I don't like that. But Look at that. Oh, 3 hearts. I don't know where it went, but look, there's another good one. So that is the Wizard's Tarot, and I don't think I have the title card because I forget who does this. Was it Corinne Kenner? Why do I want to say Corinne Kenner? I don't know. So, the next one is a new one that I just got. The Beloved Dead by Carrie Paris and Tina Hart. This is an oracle deck. I love this deck. This has, if I remember right, it has suits. It has acts of love and then title cards. Now this has pictures of real people faces, but they're old, so I don't care. And so it goes. Well, this is upside down now, so let me see. Upside down. This comes with a book. So I am currently using this in my messages from ancestor readings. This one is, I hope this is the one I'm thinking of. Yes. This, I think, is also by Duck Soup. And I think I have a title card in here somewhere. Because I forget what this deck is called. But this is from Duck Soup. It is like a vintage deck. The images are kind of vintage, and that's why I love it. The colors are bright. I think, here's the backs. I think you get to choose your backs with Duck Soup. I think a lot of these might have been old postcards, which really interests me because Halloween postcards cost a fortune. So I don't know where he got these images from. They don't have title cards, and it did not come with a book either. And so it goes. Look at these beautiful colors. Now I need to know the name of this deck, so now I'm going to have to go online and find out if I even can. Next is one you've probably seen, the Antique Anatomy. Comes with a book, color pictures, and there is a oracle deck I have that, I forget what that one's called, but I'm going to have to combine them like so many people do. And this one has lots of bones in it, skulls. Wow, that's interesting. I might have already combined them. I don't understand why there's two of these. And so it goes. This is by Claire Goodchild. Then I have, oh yeah, the Vampire Tarot, ever so popular. This is Gothic vampires, which I think is really cool, but I still favor my Bohemian Gothic tarot. That is my all-time favorite. That's this one. I like this, but this has a kind of a modern Gothic kind of flair to it that it's okay, and I like it, but I like the Bohemian Gothic better. Now, actually doing readings, I don't know. I haven't used this deck for readings. I use the Bohemian Gothic. So I should do like a comparison and see how they read as opposed to each other. And speaking about vampires, I have my much treasured, I think I have to take this off of this deck. I have this is one of my prized possessions. I even took notes on it and keep my notes in there. I've marked up this book. It is literally falling apart. This tells the story of Dracula, and I had to trim them because this is how big they were. And this is how big they still are after being trimmed. And they still, I think they look a lot better trimmed. They have these big, ugly white borders, which I cannot figure out why. But this book is an amazing book. It tells the story of Dracula, gives the history of the story, and of tarot, what tarot has to do with the story. You can see I have it all marked up. This is a great deck. However, it is a little tricky to use because they're all different. It does not follow. It follows the system of Rider-Waite, but the images and the titles on the cards do not. So, in other words, like they do have the madmen, they have the lovers, they have the hermit, and for the cards for the I always get a brain cramp. What's wrong with me? The knights, the queens, the kings, and the kings. They have different names. They're not. See, here's the Fool, and he has people. Robert Place put in here people that were somehow involved or connected to the story of Dracula. I mean, real live people. And that can make it kind of difficult to follow. Plus, they don't have the regular suits. They have garlic, potions. What else? I love this deck. Love it. Some of the people, I had to read the book because I did not recognize them, and I did not know how they related to this story, but like this guy does. That's his real name. And that's the part he's playing in this deck. So is this guy. And I didn't know who he was, so I had to read it. Holy water. Oh no, it was potions. It was holy water. Same with this guy. Then there was, of course, Bram Stoker. There's Pamela Coleman Smith. She actually she was connected to these people. Florence Stoker, who was Bram Stoker's wife or mother. There's Lord Byron. So it can be a little cumbersome to use, but I'm telling you, this is one of my prized possessions. If my house was ever on fire and had to pick some decks, actually at one point I had all my decks in one place that if I ever had to make a quick run for it, I would just be able to grab them and go. And this is the backs. I knocked this camera, didn't I? And so it goes. Now they're upside down. This is my prized possession. See how much bigger the cards were? And there's that. And my notes. And the box. I have one more deck. And I don't know what's in here. I can't remember. Oh, this is Tarot of the Dead. I haven't seen this one talked about in a long time. This is by Monica Knighton. It comes with a little white book, that's it. And in several languages. I almost said it was Lo Scarabeo, but it's not. The colorings on these are pastel, light colored, and they have different suits. This is the backs. Some of them have quite a bit of detail in them. And so it goes. Oh. Oh, look, they have spread cards, card spreads. I think this one is still available, if anybody was interested. There we go. That completes my collection of Halloween and fall and Samhain decks. And thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.